right? And the way that the adult male birds attract the female birds is by gathering lots of like shiny and pretty objects in their nests so the female birds will come by. They're kind of like the gold diggers of birds, basically. And they found out that they've recently found out that these young male birds, what they'll do is they will pretend to be a female, go to some older male bird's nest, where he has all his trinkets and like showing off, and then the young male bird pretends to be a nice pretty bird. And once the adult male has his back, he will steal his shit and leave. Imagine if humans did this. Imagine if you got a bunch of teenage boys, dressing up as pretty women, going to like mansions and stuff and just being like, oh, it's such a nice house, where'd you get that painting? And then just like fucking off with their shit. Like, what the hell? Another weird thing I saw recently. So like, in the animal kingdom, there are many different kinds of parenting styles. Like you hear about, people talk about like tiger moms, or like, people being like mama bears, or, like there's like sea turtles, for example, will hatch their eggs and then just like fuck off right before they're born. I think my dad must have been a sea turtle. I don't know. But there's this one animal which has a very interesting parenting style. It's called the quokka, and it's very deceiving because the quokka is known as like the most photogenic animal in the world. It's in Australia. It's this cute little rodent and everyone's like, oh my god, it's a cute animal, I want to take selfies with it. But the quokka is actually a cold-hearted bitch, because what the quokka does, when she has a baby, right, and there's a predator nearby, most animals would like risk their lives for their babies, right? The quokka will just take the baby and fucking yeet it at the predator and fuck off like, bitch, I can just make another one of these. I don't know, maybe my mom was a quokka too, I don't know. Oh, that's a Disney movie right there, the romance between a quokka and a sea turtle. And then you get one sad comedian. Anyways. So yeah, like I said, we have 4 acts on tonight. I'm gonna bring the first act up. Byrne O'Toole, Brian, get your ass up here!
Woo! Thank you. Wow, 100 people. It sounds like there's 100 people here. The place is packed. We are killing so many old people tonight. This is great. We're just spreading corona everywhere. I love it. Fuck those old people. Fuck old people in the audience. Fuck those old people. No, you have to protect them though, honestly. You have to protect them. I've been donating some of my time in a local nursing home, trying to help them with laughter, Patch Adams style, okay? The better the medicine. I've been trying to make them laugh with my comedy, and it's working. A lot of them are leaving, going to a place called the Morgue, which I think it's a fun place for the elderly. It's like Coachella for old people. Such a fun place. But like, let's be honest here, if it was the other way around, and it was like a disease that affected people under 60, would old people make that sacrifice? Of course not. No, they wouldn't. They'd be like, oh, these snowflakes with their pandemics. Yeah, now the tables have turned. Who's the snowflake now, you old bitch? Me and my granny don't get along, so that's... No, I'm joking. Me and my granny used to get on really well. She sadly died a few years ago. I won't go into why, because it's like a family kind of personal thing, but I'll just say we never found a head. And we're banned from Nando's. But like, COVID has been hard on everyone. This is awful timing. I got a job like 2 weeks before lockdown, tour guide. Which during a lockdown isn't great. It's not great. Like the week before lockdown, my boss was like, oh, this is going to be the best job in the world, Brian. Oh, we're going to get so much tourists, okay? Tourists every single day. You're going to make so much tips. This is going to be amazing. And then the week after lockdown, he's like, yeah, Brian, my business is failing. Everything's gone to shit. My wife found out about my gambling debts, and it's all COVID's fault. It's the Chinese's fault. Yeah, being a tour guide during lockdown is like the worst timing. That's like becoming like Bill Cosby's agent now. Just awful timing. Bill Cosby, old person. That's who we're protecting. And he probably started COVID. He probably put in people's drinks. But lockdown has had some benefits. I met a girl. I'm kind of seeing a girl now. It's fun, yeah. She's Brazilian. which, you know, she's Brazilian, I'm Irish, that's a terrible combination. That shouldn't go together. She's Brazilian, so in her DNA she's got like dancing and a big ass, okay? And in my DNA it's like potatoes and misery. Like, this doesn't work well. It's like a plus and a minus put together. Like, if you type Brazil into Pornhub, you see like these beautiful people, you know, making sweet, passionate love on like a beach, okay? And if you type Irish in the Pornhub, you get like some lad with a hurl, like fingering a girl in Supermax. No, it's like an awful combination. What's worse is she's from Brazil, but she moved over to Ireland a few years ago, and she lives in Newry, and she lives in a very unionist part of Newry, a very, you know, what's it called? Not IDF. UF? DVD? Wherever the fuck it is. Unionist, okay? And they're real, like, you know, God save the Queen, just Union Jacks everywhere, okay? And then I come into her neighbourhood, and they hear my accent, and they see my reg, and they all think I'm in the IRA. Like, they think I'm in the IRA, and this is the IRA's new mission. Like, we've given up on the whole bombs and the guns thing, and we just want to fuck Brazilians now. Like, that's our whole... Like, even the Troubles, that was just a distraction for Operation Latino Pussy. Yeah, like, they do not trust me at all. But it's going well. We had an orgy recently, but it was a social distancing orgy. It was it was safe, because we weren't even in the same room. She was upstairs with 5 guys, and I was in the chemist getting antidepressants. So, you know, she was getting dick, I was getting Zoloft. Aw. We were both winners. I got the Zoloft. I was the real winner. I'm alright at sex, but, like, you know, again, like, she's used to Brazilian guys, so it takes a lot to get used to. You have to get used to the Irish penis. You know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, yeah. We're not great specimens here, like, let's be honest. Like, I'm alright at sex. It's kind of like going to a gym, where I start off strong, I'm very excited, I'm like, I'm going to do everything here, you know? And I'm trying a little bit of everything, and I'm like full of energy, and then like a minute in, I start getting tired, start getting sweaty, I start getting dizzy, eventually just come on a Bowflex, and I'm asked to leave the gym. Yeah, you can't even come on the gym equipment anymore. Thanks to the old people. But, what else? I've been trying to spend my time during lockdown trying to do things. I was trying to revisit Game of Thrones. You know Game of Thrones, yeah? And I loved Game of Thrones when it was coming out originally, even though I found it kind of hard to remember all the characters, because there's a lot of, like, similar, it's like Tinian and Tyrion and Tittywank. There's, like, a lot of, like, similar character names. And the kind of, like, I hated the ending so much, it's kind of, like, ruined the entire experience. It's hard to, like, go back. It's kind of like, let's say if you went to Disneyland for, like, a 5-day trip, and the first 4 days were great, but then on the 5th day there was a terrorist attack and you got your legs blown off. Like, it would kind of ruin the rest of the experience, and it would kind of like cast a shadow over everything else. Like, if people asked you how was Disneyland, you'd be like, yeah, I mean the teacups are fun, but I also saw Goofy getting beheaded. So, swings and roundabouts. I like drugs, but it's weird. It's weird how, like, I like hard stuff. Like, I'll do, like, cocaine and acid, no bother, but weed, like, really freaks me out. Like, I can't handle weed at all. I just don't like being paranoid about how relaxed I am. Like, it's a weird experience. But, like, cocaine and acid, I'll do. Cocaine I love. It's almost addictive. And... like, acid, like, is great, but, like, I was so, like, innocent when I first did acid. I didn't even know what I did properly. I thought, like, oh, just give you a good buzz, okay? I didn't know it makes you hallucinate. So if I knew that acid made you hallucinate, I definitely wouldn't have taken it right before my driving test. Yeah, that didn't help. I didn't pass that. Like, he asked me to put it in gear and move forward. And instead I just got naked and rolled around the back seat. Because I thought it was a sexy little panda. Yeah. I think that's basically all my set. Let me just see if there's anything else. I will say, actually, there's another place called Curtain... What's this called? Curtain Comedy?
Call Comedy.
Curtain Call, yeah. You know there's another comedy club called Curtain Call Comedy?
Fuck them.
Yeah. But in fairness now, it's on... fuck them, okay? Even worse than Bill Cosby, that's what I say. Yeah. I know what they did, allegedly. No, I know nothing about them. All I know is they're on Facebook and they haven't updated since 2017, so hopefully they're all dead.
We killed them.
Yeah, hopefully Betsy killed them drive-by style. Biggie and Tupac. I think that's the end of my set there. That's everything I wanted to try. So thank you very much, guys, and thank you. Good night.
Thanks, Brian. And I just want to point out, Brian looked at me directly when he was like, yeah, Irishmen aren't great at sex. Looked at me and right in the eyes.
I didn't say that. I just said we're different.
And I thought you were like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like right in my little host hole over there. I just crawl underneath the stage and like lurk underneath. And he looked at me and you know what? I just want everyone to know that my boyfriend is very good at the sexies. Let's give it up to Paul. Yay! You are good at sex. Yes, you.
Thank you.
Yes, you. You mentioned Bill Cosby a lot in your set, Brian. And actually, it's funny. Bill Cosby and we actually have a lot in common because we share the same birthday, July 12th, which is kind of weird because every year on my birthday, I'm always like, Bill Cosby's somewhere celebrating as well. And another thing, we both like to, Bill Cosby and I both like to wear sweaters, I get really cold easily, and we both think that we're funny when we just make people feel incredibly uncomfortable. So, there you go. Oh shit, what else was, you were another thing, sorry, before I bring on the next act, I just want to mention this. You were talking about like COVID and such, and you guys know there've been a lot of anti-mask protests and a lot of protests in general over the summer. Like in America, there's like the Black Lives Matter protests, and I actually have a lot of relatives who feel strongly against that. I have a lot of relatives who are like, it's an issue of contention with them. I was hanging out with my my Texan uncle named Uncle Jerry. Shout out to you, Uncle Jerry. And you look at him, and he looks kind of like a very cliche Texan man, right? He's got the cowboy hat and the bow tie and like the strong Southern accent and goes hunting all the time. And I remember one time, this was like last year, we were chilling at his house and some Fox News was on, and there was like some news going on about more like protests and racial injustice, whatever. And he turned the TV off and he looked at me and he went, Betsy, let me tell you something about black people in America. And I was getting scared. And he was like, the way that black people are treated in this country is just not right. It's just not right. And I'm like, oh my God, that was going to go off time. I love you, Uncle Jerry. Anyways, guys, bring it up. Let's cheer for our next act, Felix O'Connor.
That's just going back to our host hole. That's what I call my house when I have people over from Grindr. Or no, that's what I call myself when I have people over from Grindr. I had it backwards. There we go. How are we doing tonight? So first thing you need to know about me, I'm trans and I'm queer. Those are the only interesting things about me. It's very important that you know that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. No, as I mentioned earlier, I'm on Grindr. We got people on dating apps and stuff these days. It's kind of, I feel like dating apps, the experience hasn't changed much, but the pretense has in lockdown, where you're chatting and you're like, I'm never gonna sleep with this person, but we're just gonna chat. It's gonna be fine. And then, but now you can be with them, so it's fine. But yeah, I'm on Grindr. As someone who does not personally have a penis, I kind of enjoy getting dick pics. I feel like I'm kind of in the minority there. I'm fascinated by a dick pic. I gotta think of penises, like, every penis is different. They're kind of like snowflakes. And my reaction to both is very similar, which is just, interesting. I've been on testosterone for about 5 years now. Interesting thing about testosterone. It means you're more likely to develop what's called a paraphilia. Does anyone know what a paraphilia is? No, it is a fancy word for a fetish, but it does make it sound like you want to fuck ghosts, which is my thing. Dating ghosts is kind of tough. It's literally a nightmare. I was seeing this ghost a little while ago, and that's an issue in itself, isn't it? Like, not everyone can see ghosts. But yeah, no, it really just wasn't working out. He had all these issues. He called them, like, his unfinished business. And, like, he was stalking his ex-wife. And I was like, listen, like, you say that you have to reap grisly revenge on her because she murdered you to scam your family out of their vast fortune or whatever. But, like, really, it seems like you're not over her, and I'm not here to take your baggage. And then in the, like, rare event they do get over this, like, unfinished business, it's like... you know, they just like disappear, and then you run into them like a month later and you're like, oh hey, I thought you crossed over, and he was like, no, I went back to dating women exclusively. Turns out it was a phase, and then literally like phases through a wall. Yeah, they're really bad at that as well, just like ending conversations with no context or notice or anything. Like I wish there was a term for that. Yeah, so I was talking a little bit about testosterone. Testosterone actually cured me of this weird condition that I used to have. I thought it was incurable. Everyone that I knew seemed to think it was incurable, but no, it turns out the cure is quite simple. It's called resting bitch face. And the cure is grow a beard. That's fun. No joke, like, I was in Subway one time, and the guy behind the counter gave me a free cookie because he thought I looked sad. And in fairness, I was being condescended to in Subway. So... yeah, no, I used to work in fast food, actually. I got a new job pretty recently. But I used to work in a fast food place, or as my then employers would say, a rapid service dining experience. Which I think is great, because it not only suggests that they have an issue with the word fast, but also the word food. You know, we have people coming in being like, hey, what genre of food do you serve? And we're like, nah, dinner? But no, we had a lot of issues. Fast food is not a great place to work. Shocker, I know. We had this issue with this young couple that used to come around. It was like down by the canal. Actually, where this is currently being filmed is right across the road from a dining establishment that I used to work in. But we won't say the name because I don't know if I can get away with that. But no, I used to work like in a different branch of the same restaurant along the river. And there was this young couple. They come by. They broke one of our outside tables, right? Because the girl was sitting on it, and the guy was eating her out. Which is ridiculous for one thing, because it's no outside food. We have a very strict policy on that. And for some reason, it would fall to me to try and get them to stop or to leave, or preferably both. You know, I would have been very impressed if they managed to keep going while leaving. You know, her just kind of like crab walking backwards, and him just like like an upside down wheelbarrow race. But yeah, no, another weird thing I saw in fast food. One time we had these two sets of twins in on the same day. And like we were down from the convention center. I don't know if there was some kind of convention on. Do twins have those? Maybe. I don't know. And listen, like, I don't have an issue with twins, like, as individuals, even though by definition they are individual. But I don't know, I think it's a bit weird. So I was on the till, and this set of twins comes up, and one orders, like, burger, chips, drink, kind of the standard, steps to the side. And his brother, I also didn't ask if they were brothers, I kind of just assumed. I don't know if that's like twins phobic or something. But his brother comes up and he goes, oh, I'll just have the same. And I mean, really, at that point, I felt like they were kind of shoving it down my throat. You know, because, like, I don't have an issue. Like, in the privacy of their own homes, I think two people should be able to look exactly the same if they want to. But when I have to see it and engage with it, like, it's going a little bit far. And I mean, like, you hear stories these days, don't you, about people who are raising their kids as twins? And I just, like, I think it's so young. They're very young to have their parents make that kind of decision for them. You know? And then they're bringing their kids to school, and they're engaging with, like, other kids. And those kids have to come home, and they're like, oh, mommy, daddy, like, there was there were these two kids who had the same face in school today. What's up with that? And I mean, really, like, what do we expect those parents to say? Like, this is a statistically likely minority that happens across basically every human population across all of human history, and it's really nothing to worry about? No! They're freaks and we hate them! Now you may be thinking, I'll finish up on this, you may be thinking, Felix, do you have any strong thoughts on triplets? To which I say, don't be ridiculous. Triplets are not real. It's one person running around very, very quickly, and it tricks the human eye, and to be quite honest, I really don't trust that either. That's been my time. Thanks very much, guys.
Oh, fucking love that, Felix. Thank you. Love that. You were talking about bad dating, and I have a short little bad dating story for you guys. I went on a date. No, not my boyfriend's looking at me like, oh, no, it's not you. Don't worry. I'll never talk about you while you're in the same room. I actually went on a date with Sonia Sotomayor's nephew. For those of you guys who don't, some Irish people might not know who Sonia Sotomayor is. She is one of the judges on the Supreme Court. Woo. Yeah. And it came up, and this was a Tinder date. I matched with this guy, and the subject came up because we were talking about our families, and I was like, oh, yeah, I have an aunt who's a judge. And he was like, oh, my aunt's a judge too. And I was like, really? Is a like misdemeanor or felony judge? He's like, no, a Supreme Court justice. And I'm like, ooh, okay. He was a total weirdo, though. I never went on a second date with him again. He was super weird. He like assumed that we were immediately boyfriend and girlfriend, like within an hour after meeting. And he was already talking about like, I don't know, like us being together forever. And I was like, real kind of clingy shit. And I feel bad. I'm not trying to make fun of short guys. Sorry, but he was a lot shorter than me, and he tried kissing me and almost fell over.
Oh no.
So yeah, just a lot of Tinder dates have been so bad. People are constantly worried about like getting murdered or like drugged on these Tinder dates, but honestly most of them are so bad I just roofie myself. I don't even pop them like an aspirin, that's what I say. Anyways, on that note, let's welcome up our next comedian is Tui. Tui.
Hello. Thank you, Betsy, for having me. So, what a year.
What a year.
I think we deserve a refund. Wouldn't that be great in life if you could, like, refund anything? I would like a refund for all the time, energy, and emotions that I invested in Phil, the emotionally unavailable loser from Wicklow. What a year. 2021. Think of all the lockdown babies that'll be born. Karen, unlikely to be a popular baby name though. But yeah, no, it's been a hard year. It's been tough. It's been tough on everyone. Tricky time to be a sex addict. I'm not a sex addict, but there was a low point when I was in Tesco and the guy in front of me, he had some condoms in his basket and I was really jealous. But yeah, it's been tough. Tough on parents. I feel like some of them will realise they don't even like their own children. Hard on relationships. If you were a significant other before lockdown, you've most likely been demoted to non-significant at this point. Significant other, I hate that term. It's always some smug person who uses it. It'll be at a party. I know they're illegal now, but when they were a thing, you know, you'd be at a party and there'd be some Jane there and she'd be like, hi, my name's Jane and this is Martin, my significant other. Significant other. And without him, I would be insignificant. So I'm recently single. I've just come out of a relationship with God. Yeah, things just didn't work out. Now, don't get me wrong, the sex is obviously divine. But when things were going bad for me, he was just never around. So I'm back on Tinder. Do you know what I love about Tinder? How guys like to show their personalities through their profile pictures. Started with the tiger selfie. So the tiger selfie signifies that they are wild in the bedroom. But it's been replaced by what I call the cliff selfie. So the cliff selfie is a picture of a man standing on a cliff or the top of a mountain, and this signifies that they are adventurous. Then you have the other guys who put up the very grainy, poor quality images. They just don't give a shit. I saw one recently, and it was a guy standing on a boat, and he just had his hand on the railings, and it was a rainy day, and I just thought to myself, is this like a preview of what our life will look like together? Dull and grey. But I have some advice for guys and their pictures. You know, it would get my attention if you had yourself in a selfie with a book titled She Comes First. That is a book, by the way, for anyone actually taking notes. It's written by a man, of course, but it's a start. And then I love the bios. They're just so entertaining. Shane from Dublin, he writes, vegan but sound. Since when did a dietary preference become your whole identity? If I had to base my whole identity on a dietary preference, it would be carbivore, but cool. But I wish they just put some, like, useful information, you know, on their bios. Will not have a mental breakdown while opening a bin bag. That is the partner that I am looking for. Because I do have a mental breakdown opening a bin bag every day. So yeah, the HSE have recommended sexting. Ooh. Why can't they just, like, why do they have to be involved in every aspect of our life? Sexting. So that is when human beings attempt to have sex over text. Sex over text, I know. Mental. But I don't know, I'm not into this whole sexting business, because if you're like me and you make poor choices on Tinder, it can lead to textual harassment. Or if you've ever received unsolicited dick pics, at that point you've been molested. But yeah, there's something about me, I don't know. Guys just seem to I seem to scream, sext me, don't respect me. I don't know what it is. It's sad, because I just find myself in these sexting interactions unexpectedly, because guys have this magical way of turning, like, an innocent conversation into, like, a sexting conversation. You know, you'll say something sweet like, I wish you were here. And they'll be like, yeah? What would you do to me? I'm like, I don't know, murder seems like a good option at this point. I remember getting a text and it was like, so basic. It's just like, my dick is hard. It's like he was just saying, I'm hungry. I'll leave you with this. So when I get really stressed out, I'm not aware of it, but I become a hypochondriac and I can't, like, connect the two. So I was doing a live gig and I was getting really nervous, and it was about 11 o'clock. I was trying to go to sleep and I was, like, kind of scratching my head, and I was like, oh my God, like, what is on my skull? And I was like, there's like a skull indentation. So I started Googling it, obviously, because, like, you know, we love to torture ourselves. So I Googled from 11 p.m. till 4 a.m. bald heads, women versus men, and then skull x-rays, okay? But, like, so I really freaked myself out, and anyway, I fell asleep, thank God. The next day, I wasn't satisfied, so I texted my friend being like, hey, what does your skull look like? And she was like, My skull looks like a skull. And I hadn't got enough tension, so I was like, okay, I will text my mom. Or no, I ring my mom. So I rang her, but she didn't answer because I don't think she likes me. And then I was like, okay, I'll call her partner. He's like, hey, Colin, how's it going? Okay, so basically I have a skull indentation. I know it's really weird. I don't know. It could be serious. So look, will you just ask Mom? I think she mentioned she dropped me as a child, so you can just ask her to call me back. And he was like, okay. So anyway, my mom rings me back, and she was like, what the hell is going on? Why did you tell Colin that I dropped you as a child? And I was like, I thought that you did. And she's like, I didn't drop you as a child. No, I threw you across the bed because you wouldn't stop crying. And I was like, oh, do you think that might have resulted in a skull indentation? She was like, for fuck's sake. That is my time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Tui. Is your mom a quokka by any? Just fucking throwing babies. Oh my god. Yeah, I really liked your bit about dating God, the sex being divine, and everything. That kind of reminded me when I was in elementary school, or not elementary school, when I was like 11, and I would go to middle school dances. I don't know if they ever told you guys this, but you'd be dancing with, someone of the opposite gender. Oh no. And they would tell you, hey guys, make room for Jesus, which would be like, make some space between you guys. But to me now, in retrospect, it's like, why the fuck are you telling Jesus to be grinding between two kids? For one, that's not socially distancing. For another, if that's like what Jesus is all about, it really explains some of y'all's priests here in Ireland. Just preaching to grind between children. Too close to home. Sorry, I'm just a dirty proddy. Just one of those dirty Protestants. And on that note, I will... religious tension. Oh no. You don't have that here in Ireland. Okay. I will bring up our very last act for the night. Alex Byrne, get up here!
Woo!
Yeah!
Woo!
He's coming.
Woo!
Hello. Hey. How is everyone tonight? God, there are a lot of you. 100, wasn't it? How are we going tonight? All of them comedians. It's like Chester's, but pleasant.
Oh.
Haven't even been insulted yet. I'm not going to lie, guys. I haven't done comedy in a while. I'm so nervous tonight. Sweaty palms, butterflies in my stomach, shaky legs. And I'm a bit lightheaded. Hey. I showed that to my girlfriend there and she said, don't do it. I said, lighten up. 3 years I've had that, 2 jokes. I got to put out a disclaimer now, okay, very quickly, because, some of you guys haven't seen me. Some of you have seen me before. You've seen me before. Yeah. Did you like it?
Yes.
Good, you're getting it again. Some people wrote over quarantine, I didn't. But I have to put out a quick disclaimer for those of you that haven't seen me. I always get compared to that guy out of The Hangover.
Oh, yeah.
With the hair. Oh, yeah. I've lost a bit of weight. But, so you know who I mean, the guy with the hair and the beard. I can never remember his name. What's his name? Hair and the beard. Bradley Cooper, exactly. I always get the Bradley Cooper comparison. I always get compared to Jesus a lot. Don't you start curtain. You're just a curtain. I'm the great Alex Byrne. Don't ever forget it. What was I doing? Oh yes. So basically, I get compared to Jesus a lot too. I'm not Jesus. Jesus is my uncle. Nice bloke. Terrified of football. Terrified. I was watching football with him yesterday. I screamed cross. He jumped behind the sofa. Then he was a bitch though. His wife, Anti-Christ, she's called. Oh, and I'm recently just back from a tour of America. Woo! I know. Well, I say tour. I mean, it wasn't comedy-wise. It was on a bus. I paid for that shit. I was in. You guys know? Do you know Pensacola, Florida? Anyway, I was in a place called Pensacola, Florida, and it was great telling my granny I was gone. I was like, Granny, I'm going to Pensacola. She's what? Pensacola. What? Pensacola. Say it again. Pensacola. And she said, there's some in the fridge. But it was great. While I was over there, I auditioned for America's Got Talent.
Ooh.
I know, but they said I wasn't eligible because I'm not American. I said, fair enough. So I came back here and I auditioned for Ireland's Got Talent. They said I wasn't eligible. I said, I'm Irish. They said, you're not talented. I said, not talented. I said, watch this. And keep an eye on this. Especially you in YouTube land. Watch this. You're on me all the time. Aha! Especially you guys in the camera world. You guys thought that was impressive as well. So, my family couldn't be here tonight. We couldn't exceed the 100 limit. If anyone asks, this is a wedding or else a golf outing. Oh, God. Oh, speaking of weight loss, I got to say something now. This is for everyone. This is about motivation. This is about YouTube land as well. I got to show you guys something special. And I've been a bit sensitive about this, but... See this? I want to put out... Don't laugh. This is very serious, but I want to put out a personal message. You know, people talk about, weight loss, doing during quarantine. I learned during quarantine it's very important to lose weight. It's very important, set your goals, do what you need to do, stick to a plan, and you'll be amazed what you can achieve. I didn't think anything I was able to do over the past few months were possible. As for these, I don't know. I've only lost 2 pounds and I found these on the street earlier. But anyway, cracking on. We got some great acts on tonight. Who do we have first? We have Brian first. Brian, you were great. Come on, you were great. I want 100 of you. Come on, you were great. Brian has had the misfortune of seeing me before, and you're still laughing, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tell you what, I'll do a card trick quickly for you, Brian. Here we go. Ready? Watch this. See this? See that? I got good. I was practicing that every day during quarantine. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Every day. I used to get up at 7 in the morning, go to bed 7 at night, non-stop practicing, and then one day I logged into eBay. Right. Think of a card, okay? Just think of it. Don't tell me it, okay? Just think of it, bud. You thought of it?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Okay. Pressure's on now, so be honest with me, be honest with the host, be honest with the comedians, be honest with YouTube land, and be honest with yourself. What was your card, Brian?
Queen of Hearts.
Yep, got it. I'll do a real trick. Here we go. Okay, no one tell me what this card is, okay? No one tell me at all. Can everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hands up if you can't see it. Any hands? I'm going to assume no. I'm going to assume you people in YouTube land can see it too. People at the camera, there you go. I'm going to pop this in here, going to give it another quick shuffle. I'm going to drop my cards into my magic bag. Bollocks. This isn't good. It's not live, is it? Can we edit that out? We can edit that out, can't we?
We'll get it in post.
I mean, it could be any of those. Could be any of those. I mean, it could be that card. Could be that card. Could be that card. It could be any of them. It could be that card. Or, potentially, it could be this card. Well, there you go. Slight round of applause. I'll take it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Right, so moving on. I've been so glad the gym's been back open, by the way. I mean, but I didn't do it right. I went to the gym this morning and I had a tub of Ben & Jerry's before I went to the gym. And it said, this tub contains 1,000 calories. I was smart, I ate the ice cream. Well, I was in the changing room anyway, and this guy walked in, really big, kind of hefty guy, carrying a lot of weight, and I got chatting to him. He's a nice bloke, and I says, look, I said, I hope you don't mind me asking, very into person. I says, I think I sold his boxes, actually. I said to him, how much do you weigh? He says, I weigh 25 stone. I says, geez, that's remarkable. I says, how long have you weighed 25 stone for? He says, oh, geez, I've lost count. I can't. It's been a long time now. I was really? He says, yes. He says, I can't even remember the last time I saw my own penis. I says, what? I says, why don't you dye it? He says, why? What colour is it? Oh, let me see. Who was on after Brian? It was Felix. Felix, you were great. Round of applause for Felix, too. I really love that. Tell me, do you like balloons?
Sure.
Do you like animals?
Sure.
You're going to love balloon animals. Watch this. Here you go. And while I'm with you guys, although Ireland's Got Talent failed, I'm going to do my X Factor audition. Will you guys sing with me? All 100 of you, will you sing with me?
Yeah.
It sounds like 100. I'm going to do a Spice Girls song, which is roughly 100 as many people you'll get at one of their gigs these days. I don't know Spice Girls. So the song's called Wannabe. You guys know it? It goes, if you want to be my lover.
Gotta get with my friends.
It's very quiet for 100 people. Word of advice though, if you do want to be somebody's lover, don't get with their friends. Alright, Felix. On you now, mate. Any animal you want, just tell me, I'm a professional. Any animal you want in the world. I am a pro.
Dog.
Except dogs. Any animal you want except a dog, I'm a pro. Trust me.
A horse?
Can't make horses. Any animal except a dog or a horse. Anything else?
Cat.
Can't make cats. Anything except them.
Flamingo.
Can't make flamingos. Anything except them.
Snake.
Snake. Alright, let me try. Snake. Twist the head around like this. Sorry, YouTube people, this sounds shit on the audio. I'll be quick. And we go like this. And twist him in around like this. There you go, a little snake for yourself, Felix. You enjoy that now, mate, okay? Thank you very much, thank you. Oh god, my back is killing me. Oh, I'm having problems with a disc in it. Look at that. Thank you very much. That's Paul, he gets a round of applause too. He's been our tech guy on it. He is our tech guy, he's very good. You'll probably be able to help me with this. I went to my doctor, said, what do you recommend for a cure? He said, Spotify. And I was with my American friend. The doctor says, you'll have to go see a specialist in the Mater Hospital. I said to my American friend, I have to go to the Mater. She says, what's the matter? I says, no, what's the matter with you?
Hey.
And while I was there, he says, do you have any other symptoms? I says, double vision's one. He says, lie down on the sofa. I says, which one? And he says, you might feel a slight sting. I says, why is that? He says, a bee flew in. And he said, right, Alex, he goes, I'm afraid, he says, you're going to have to stop masturbating. I says, what? I says, do I have a medical condition? He says, no, it's just very distracting. Alright. Oh, by the way, disclaimer, I've lost my dog. If anyone sees a dog anywhere, please let me know. If you manage to find a dog anywhere, please let me... What? That's a snake, keep up. I'm going to do a quick trick. A friend of mine said about the dog, she says, why don't you post on Facebook about it? I says, my dog only has an Instagram. How am I looking on YouTube, by the way? Do I look good?
Gorgeous. Fabulous.
Follow me on OnlyFans for more. Alright, so here we have a white handkerchief. And here we have a black handkerchief, right? I'm going to show you the inside of the bag. Inside of the bag is nothing, okay? So we go in here like this. We stick these in here. And I'll quickly go like this. I'll make them change colour. You ready? And now we have the white handkerchief. I have turned black. And the black handkerchief I have turned white.
Wow.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Thank you very much. I know. Some of you aren't convinced. That there was 40 people or so in the audience weren't convinced. So here we go. I'm going to make stripes here. Stripes sound good? Stripes. Here we go. Stripes. Quick shake. Here we have the black handkerchief with black stripes. And the white handkerchief with white stripes. They're less convinced now. There was 40 people not convinced last time. About 60 now. Right. What about spots? Would spots be a bit more convincing for you?
Yeah, yes.
Ah, thank you, sir, down the back. Shouldn't you be in bed? COVID. Oh, you should have been in bed, sir. Here we go, some spots. So here we have the black handkerchief. Can you guess what's coming?
Yeah.
With white spots.
Oh.
And look at that, I even have to pick that up. Ooh, need the back. And the white handkerchief with black spots. How's that then? Huh? Thank you very much. And wait, not just that. More cause concern, I found my dog. Come here, doggy. Come here. Say hello. Come here. Hello. Alright, so I'm going to do it for time. Ooh, let me see. Hang on. Stepped out, you reached. So here we go. I'm going to tell one more joke, and I'm going to do one last trick, and then we'll finish up, because I know people have homes to go to, and the guards are outside. We are filming from a secret location, not in Dublin. I'm going to take this off, though. It's a bit warm. So I'll do one last joke, and then one last trick. This is a joke I actually got told when I was in Central recently by one of the managers. And that's the best thing about being a comedian. You guys all know, when you're a comedian, like, I go up and I meet people and they just tell me jokes. Like, before I was a comedian, you meet someone, like, how are you doing today? No, my wife died last week. Alright. But now, I swear to God, you meet people, you go in, it's like, how's it going? It's like, Alex, I have a joke for you. And my wife died last week, but first the joke. That's the best part. It's like a superpower. Everyone just wants to tell you a joke. So, and sometimes you're like, okay, but he told me this. I couldn't stop laughing. I've been laughing at this all week. So it's very simple. It's part of the Irishman, Englishman, and Scotsman joke, okay? 3 of them die and they go to heaven. I started off with such a high note. But anyway, they arrive at the pearly gates and they talk to St. Peter. And St. Peter says, look, he says, contrary to popular belief, we don't give out wings here. We give people vehicles. But the vehicle you get is basically based on how loyal you were to your partner when you were alive. So they say, okay, so first comes up Englishman, he goes, He says, okay. He says, no discrepancies, very good. Lamborghini, off you go, sir. Scotsman comes up. 1 or 2 misdemeanors. Tell you what, Mitsubishi, come on, off you go, enjoy. Irishman comes up. He's like, haven't been great, mate. So look, a lot of discrepancies, a lot of misdemeanors. We'll give you a micro. It's fair enough. So he drives off. About a week later, the 3 boys are all sitting around, and Scotsman and Englishman are talking, going, oh, I love your Lamborghini. He's like, oh, I love your Mitsubishi. Irishman is sitting over at the side. He's very angry. Really like, you all right, Paddy? He's like, no, I'm not. They all have the same voice, by the way, despite where they're from. He basically goes, what's wrong with you? Is it the Yaris? It's a grand old car, huh? He's like, not the Yaris, nothing to do with the Yaris. I'm just pissed off, lads. And they go on, eventually get it out and say, what's wrong with you, Paddy? He says, well, I drove past the pearly gates earlier in the car. And I saw my wife at the pearly gates at St. Peter. And he's after giving her a fucking push bike. I shouldn't laugh because I said it, but I loved it. Alright, for the last trick now is it any problem there, Mr. Technician, to get the camera just slightly pointed down this way? You can see how professional I look in my shorts here at the moment as well. Just going to move your mic ever so slightly if that's okay. There we go, so we won't round. We'll move this over here if that's okay. I'm just going to move my trick over here. I'll do it on the unit down as well, okay? Now if they're walking, it definitely looks like a wedding, so we're in the clear here, folks. Mr. Technician, will you marry me? You're everything I want. You're the sound man. Here we have a very simple trick. We have a glass, we have a bottle, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make them change places. You ready? How's that? You like it? It's not bad. Now I'm going to make them change back. You like it? Here we go. I'm going to make them change place under the cylinders. Ready? Very simple trick actually. You pop that on there like that, and it just switches across like that. The last comes the bottom comes last. Very simple like that, you see? Very simple trick to do. That's the thing. It's an extremely simple trick to make them switch places. Now, what I get a lot of, and probably what your comments are going to say right now, is it's going to say, it's a different bottle. And I'm going to prove to you it's not a different bottle, okay? I'm going to take off this little ribbon I have on. I'm going to pop it around here. And I'm going to make that ribbon and that bottle jump from this side to this side with the ribbon on it, okay? You ready? How's that like? Alright, how's that? There you go. Very simple trick, folks. Very simple trick. Virtually impossible to ever mess up, okay? There's no way you can mess this... Whoa, what is... Can we edit this part out as well? Oh, fuck this up now. There's bottles everywhere. Have you noticed that? There's bottles everywhere. See over there? Right there. Right there. Even down on the ground here. Watch that. Right there. Right there. Ignore that ribbon, by the way. Right there. Right there. Right there. There's even one falling out of the place, these bottles are. That's the problem. So what I'm going to do is this, though. I'm going to just finish like this. Got 2 glasses here like that. What will I do as well? Look, I'm thirsty. I don't know about you. Let me just... Okay. Okay. Betsy, would you come here for one moment, please, if you don't mind? I was going to call you back in now, Miss MC.
It's gonna crawl out of my
Of course. You take this, I'll take this.
Okay.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh,
Thank you
thanks,
guys for
Alex.
watching. Have a good night. Goodbye.
Well, that was Alex. Oh, I feel hydrated. Thanks, man. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Look at this. You're cleaning this up after that. Oh, well, everyone, that was our show tonight. Let's give it up for the comedians. And the first act we had was Brian O'Toole. The second act we had was Felix O'Connor. Third act was Tui Ennis. And our last act was Alex Byrne. Alright, thanks you guys. That was our show. Stay tuned for our show in 2 weeks. We have another show in 2 weeks.